let's hit our Scott question over here. So what we got here is we have a couple questions that are all kind of related, and we have Linda from San Diego said, what's it like living on the east or west side of the island of Oahu? Are they significantly different from weather to lifestyle? I would love it if you would ID the neighborhood you're filming. So when we drive around, we're going to do that. The other question is from D from Atlanta, who says, "Hey, I would move tomorrow. However, what are some of the better neighborhoods? Is there any new construction real estate in Hawaii? I know my family will love the Hawaiian culture. What about the VOG? Is it bad for the lungs?" And the quick answer is, yeah, VOG's not good especially if you have the respiratory issues. Finally, the other one from Hannah Thomas, Hannah from Florida says, "The different neighborhoods in Oahu are on sale, and on the quieter side is not downtown Honolulu. As I research, I've been thinking possibly Kapolei or North Shore, but would love your opinion on these areas and other areas that are safe, chill, and nice." So, Scott, what I'm kind of catching on this is there's a bunch of questions that are related to neighborhoods. What are the neighborhoods like on Oahu? So can you give us a really, really brief, let's hit east, west, North Shore, and what we call town or downtown area? I think let's start with that and kind of go further.
Yeah, so sometimes east-west side, we talk about windward versus leeward. And essentially what we're talking about from weather at that standpoint is our trades and the clouds and moisture and things come in from that east side, northeast side, bring cooler weather, cooler winds, but they come across and they hit the Ko'olau Mountains, and as the clouds rise to go over them, they will release that moisture. So therefore, the windward side or the east side of Oahu tends to be wetter, more rain, more lush, green, tropical landscaping, especially the closer you get to the mountains. So Kailua, for example, which is one of my favorite neighborhoods on the island, more of a beach community. I almost kind of think of it as like a boutique beach town because it's got a lot of boutique shops and restaurants within the town itself. A lot of people will ride their bikes to the beach from their house on that side. And it revolves around two of the best beaches in the world. I mean, Lanikai Beach has always been up at the top of the rankings for best beaches in the world. It's been discovered a little bit, but probably about 40,000 people that live in Kailua. Now, it sits out on a peninsula, so it stays a little drier, but Kaneohe is another excellent alternative, but the beaches are in Kailua. So you're driving to Kailua, or you're having to go up a little further up the windward coast for that. But it is closer to the mountains, so it tends to be a little wetter, a little more green in Kaneohe. North Shore is going to be country, relaxed vibe. Haleiwa is a fun little town, but you're out in the country. It's going to be much more quiet. You're based around surf and beaches and relaxed vibe. And then Kapolei, for example, or out towards that side, Kapolei is going to be our second city, or it is our second city. It's kind of started to develop out in the last 4 years, really develop out, that's where our new construction's going. And then if you're in town Honolulu or that South Shore, you're in the heavier urban development and have access to everything you want from a city standpoint.
I was distracted doing some Q&A on the comments. Did you speak about the west side of Oahu?
So west side, I mean, we're talking Kapolei on around. I mean, once you get onto that leeward, the true, what we call leeward coast, Waianae, Nanakuli, and Makaha. I love that area along the coast. I love that area in certain areas. The beaches are beautiful. You do have an economic standpoint that comes into play. There's much more, government assistance out that side. You also have a lot of ag land out there, and then your commute. So if you're looking to relax and kind of get out in the countryside, you can still do it out on that Makaha side. The one challenge for out there, which I love those beaches, and it's an affordable area to live, is the commute, getting in and out. And if traffic happens or an accident happens, then you're stuck.
And you mentioned this earlier, and Dylan, I'd like you to chime in on this. But the west depends on how far onto the leeward or west side you go. But there are some cultural adjustment issues. I would, unless you're, I would not, if you're if you're from the mainland and you're moving to Hawaii for the first time, there's the Dylan smile. If you're I'm trying to kind of say this truthfully, I'm picking my words carefully because I want to be accurate. I don't want to mischaracterize the place. It's a great place. There's great people there. There's great families, and someone who is acclimated to local culture is not going to have a problem there for the most part. But if you've just moved over here and you're still trying to get kind of your sea legs, that's not the place I would, that's not the first place I would move to if I just came here from, North Carolina, Scott, or from Chicago. Dylan, how would you characterize what people need to kind of be prepared for, think about if they want to go to that leeward side, which is attractive from the mainland perspective? When you're doing Google searches, you see the lower prices, and so you think, let's move there. But what kind of advice would you give someone, Dylan, to say, if you're going to think about that west side, you want to think about that before you actually you plunk it down as the first place that you land?
Yeah, and let's be honest, as beautiful as Hawaii is, we have our challenges like everywhere else does, and there are places in every island that has communities that have socioeconomic challenges, and they're just places that, for a lot of reasons, are not as easy to live in because of the challenges in the community. So that's something you definitely want to consider and get some good advice on before you move to some place like that. Is and real estate prices are reflective of those challenges, and so, among other things, that's what you gotta consider is, what do the schools look like, and what do the parks look like, and what kind of things are going on in the community that you may want to consider. And you can look at the news. I mean, there's tons of news stories about homeless, encampments and different things going on, and those things happen. Every island has them, but that's something that you want to look at prior to making a decision if that's someplace where you want to live and invest money into.
And here's